Hello and welcome back to part 5 of Let's Play Advance Wars with your host as always, Mah-Dry-Bread. I actually made a mistake in the last episode that I want to correct now. It wasn't actually the last episode in which we had to defeat all of Olaf's army. That's actually stage 6, so the next episode. So a slight mistake there, sorry about that. I don't know how you wouldn't know that he went to a separate army. Alright, now for the first time we actually get to use Max in this game, who's probably the straight-up strongest member of the Orange Star Army in this game. I believe they do actually power him down a bit in the next few games, because he is definitely overpowered in this. Now, as Grit said earlier, and this is actually our objective, not just him bragging, all we have to do is survive 5 days to win this stage. So by the end of the 5th day, so beginning of the 6th day, is when we win. There's no way to win faster than that, of course, which means today will be a short episode. And, of course, we're fighting Grit, so he has extra range on every single indirect unit, and if he uses his special ability, he has more range on top of that and extra power. This is our first time using Max, so to go over his ability in better detail than before, all of his direct units, other than his infantry, I believe, do 50% extra damage, which is a massive bonus. However, all of his indirect units are a bit weaker, and have 1 space less range taken off of their maximum range. So his artillery is pretty useless, and his rockets they have a limited use. In this stage, we're probably going to have a pretty low technique score, because he's got, although he has indirect units set up everywhere, and we should really be careful about, you know, their range and everything, we only have a 5-day limit, and he has infantry going straight towards our headquarters. We need to just rush with everything we've got. Between Grit's 20% less direct damage modifier and our plus 50, we're doing 70% more damage than we normally would if this were, say, Andy versus Olaf in close quarters combat. Which means we can completely just steamroll the guy, unless he wears us down too much with ranged attacks. Luckily, this is a pretty easy stage. See the crazy modifiers we're getting here? Now, our ability is Max Force. When we use our ability of Max Force, it makes all of our direct units do even more damage than usual. I believe it's an extra 22% modifier. And that, of course, stacks with our natural ability of the 50%, so we become probably the highest damaging thing in the game. Is Max's Max's direct units, when he's using Max Force, are most likely the most powerful things in the game. Although there is a character coming up later who might contend for him, or contend with power for him. I'm not entirely sure. But this is all around a fairly easy stage. Just rush forwards, don't worry about casualties. All you have to care about is that you can get your tanks in range of your own headquarters by the 4th day. Because he has Grit. If you were to not move forwards at all, Grit would have exactly enough time to take your headquarters. So if you can't get at least 1 unit to be in attack range of your headquarters to at least damage whoever's taking it, you lose. However, if you can so much as damage that infantry once, you will win. So all we need to do is get 1 tank that has at least maybe 2 health to our headquarters, and we'll win. I don't expect to get a great score. And again, medium tanks versus tanks on the road, and I obliterate him. You can see why Max is kind of overpowering. Especially against someone like Grit. I would actually like to play a stage like this from Grit's perspective. I believe in the second game, actually, there are quite a few stages where you use Grit. In stages where you're severely outmatched, but you have like the train as your advantage. Which I think those are a lot more interesting than being on this side of it. And I believe there are some stages like that later in this game, too, if I'm remembering correctly, that have to do with another character that we have not met. So, I won't spoil that quite yet. I'm not even sure why I'm taking my artillery, I really don't need to be, now that I think about it. They're not gonna hit anything, they're basically just meat shields. Also, Grit gets his ability very quickly in this stage. Also, I do very much like that he has unique dialogue for if he fights certain people. I believe he gets unique dialogue for fighting Max and Nell. But you see, the crazy range he gets with his ability. Even his artillery can outshoot my rockets. This is also why Grit can be terrifying on naval maps, because Grit's battleships are some of the most dangerous things in the game. Battleships are already very powerful and have a great range. And this right here is just showing off how amazing of a commanding officer Grit can be, and why he is really one of the best in the series. Even without his ability, he's very, very powerful, but with his ability, he can decimate your army in one turn. Now, we can't totally reach them, so we're just gonna move in as much as we can. And a lot of these guys will get shot, but again, all I care about is that we can reach with at least one person. Actually, you should be moving this way. Luckily, with this many units to distract the enemy, next turn we should be able to slip a mid-tank in and hit that infantry. And see, if we couldn't damage him by at least 1 health, we wouldn't be able to save it. Luckily, again, bad priority. He should be attacking the mid-tanks. Also, you know, let's just think about this logically for a minute. The Blue Moon Army is invading our lands. This battle is taking place in our country right now. They have taken over our lands, basically. Why is Grit saying, like, I know he's old friends with Max, but why is he saying, you know, if you don't beat me in 5 days, I'll pull out? Why is he saying that? Grit, try this one on for size. If I were Olaf, I'd fire him for that. I'd have him goddamn executed. This is the livelihood of your own country and your own assault on the country. And you're just like, well, the other officer survived long enough, I'm just gonna pull out even though I could still win. But I guess we're not supposed to take it that seriously. And it is still kind of a fun thing. But we've already won the stage. We got the infantry off the point, they have 1 infantry left, and he's nowhere close. He's maybe 3 turns away from the headquarters. And now this is just to beef up my power score by killing a bunch of units on the same turn. The highest modifier for your power score is it takes whatever turn you killed the most enemies at once with, and it determines it that way. That's your highest power modifier. So, on a turn like this, where we just decimated 3-4 units, we've pretty much guaranteed that, at least in power, we'll get an A. For speed, of course we'll get an A, because this is a time limit match, you can't get less. And for technique, I expect to be pretty low, because he has very much damage to the army, and he's about to take out a mid-tank, too. And again, technique is not based on how much money worth of units you've lost. It's not like gathering a power. Technique is determined solely by how many units you've lost. It doesn't matter if they're mid-tanks or if they're infantry. And for one extra kick in the pants, you have just lost, Grit, because you have no unit that can take the headquarters. And how long would it take for him to destroy all of my units? I'm just going all out right now because it really doesn't matter anymore. I guess if I really wanted to, I could just hang back here. You know, what the hell, let's just hang back here. Beef up our technique score some more. I expect to get a B rank. Probably a B rank, not a C rank. Just because when your speed score is always maxed and it's so easy to get a high power score, you're really not dropping below B. It doesn't matter how bad your technique is. Even if you were to get one bar at 0, if the other two are max, I'm fairly sure you'd still have a B. God, that crazy range. I'm sorry, I'm just appreciating the music. That's one thing I've always loved about the Advance Force series. The music is amazing. Also, do you see that power modifier I have? I only took 1 damage in that encounter. I should have died. I did a lot of damage to you too. He also doesn't have your particular strength. Yeah, he doesn't have that weakness with indirect units, but he also doesn't have a 1.5 times modifier on direct combat. I wouldn't be so hard on Max here. Max is pretty amazing. Is Andy just sitting in the other side of the room or something? Oh man, you know what would be fun? Don't know why this is coming to mind now, but sometime we should all play this on the stream together. I've got to have an open tournament or something where A rank, really? After day 5 when I suicided 2 units that I really should have just pulled back, again, the game is being too lenient with the scores. Yeah, one of these days I've got a bunch of you guys out there who've got this game and enjoy it. We gotta round up on my stream and I can take open challenges. That'd be fun. Save current data. I meant to pick yes, but whatever. Alright, on the next episode we finally get to do the fight, in which, and I believe you do have to use Andy for this fight, by the way, for the thing I'm doing. But I will look it up between episodes so I don't get it wrong again, but I'm fairly sure this next episode is the one where you have to defeat all of Olaf's army to get him later in the game. Alright? Alright. Thank you everybody for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.